Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you every step of my workflow when actually using hardware as part of our Infinity bundle. So we're going to be using this super cool Orchid to generate chords with the Prophet 6, and we're going to be synchronizing this Digitone all to the project so that you can actually see exactly how I go about making tracks, not just using software but also hardware, which is something that people have asked me about, and I'm really happy to make this video for you. So let's dive right in and let me give you an overview of what we have here. And if you're wondering why the studio looks so different, we've just moved house and I haven't yet built up my full studio, so this is like a little in-between studio I've been using to make music, but it's more than enough, and it's actually more close to a setup that you may also have in your house. So let me show you what we have going on to begin with. Basically everything's being controlled, most of the stuff is being controlled with this controller, which is sort of part of my whole workflow, is being able to interact with things in real time. I have this little controller off to the side, so I have a little bit more control and detail, but you can do everything with just an APC40 or similar. We're not going to be using this loop launcher for this video, so we're just going to focus really on this. Right now what we have running is just a kick drum from our analog kick sample pack, and we have a tom running that is also part of the Infinity bundle. So all the instruments that are running right now are part of the Infinity bundle, except for in the back we have the little Digitone already doing its thing. And this is the first thing that I want to show you that I think is super helpful, is that I do run the Digitone via its Overbridge app. However, I switch off sync and I run the sync to it via this Multiclock, so that I have control over how tight or not it's sitting in the beat, because I've just found that if it's not really tight, let me take it out a bit so you get a feeling like just how weird it starts to sound, and let me pull it forward again. It's just so nice when things are really tight on the money. Now, if you don't have a Multiclock, which if you don't and you do use hardware, I can highly recommend, you can go to the Ableton view here, and you've probably seen this, but I just want to make sure that you have this because it's such an important part. You then do set the Elektron sync in its Overbridge app, and you would hit sync here, and then here you can adjust it. Just be aware that if you add a plugin that brings in additional latency to your live set, like a limiter with a pre-look buffer, this is going to shift out again, which is why using a Multiclock is such a gift. Okay, cool. So we have this in here now. Now let me show you one of the bass lines that I've done to work with in this template. So what you're hearing now is a sound that I sampled from the Elektron RYTM. I know it's a drum machine, but that sounds really great for bass. This is already pre-mapped, pre-mixed. So when you bring up the fader and you set your MIDI notes, then you're immediately having a track that sounds pretty ready mixed. Okay, so I'm feeling, and you're thinking the same, that would be nice to have some hi-hats with this, right? Okay, cool. So we have that also here, and this is mapped on this little side here. I'm going to bring some in. Let's bring in some hi-hats. And this is exactly how I go through when I'm making a track, is I find the next sound, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this needs hi-hats now. So I make some quickly, and that's why in the Infinity bundle, you'll find all these basic kind of sounds that you always need, like, you know, hi-hat, shakers, snares, toms, kicks, claps, because then it's just super easy to make some. And like all of this stuff, again, let me show you, is pre-mixed. So like if I like this pattern, but I want to try different sounds, that's pretty nice. Let's check it out. So now we've brought in a snare also. And this is really my workflow. Like I just follow my gut and I'm like, okay, what does this need? I feel like the snare needs a little bit more reverb. Yeah, that's more like it. Maybe a little bit more highs. Cool, so as soon as I start to feel it, that I'm like, okay, this is cool now, I move to the next thing basically. And right now what I'm thinking is this probably could use like a harmonic melodic line. So in the compose section on the back here is where I would recommend you to just like build up your stuff. In this case, it's this MIDI file. And once you have it built up, so I'm triggering the Digitone here, I have it here. And now basically what I can do is I say, okay, I like this little Digitone melody that I've made. Let me bring this into a place in the template where I'm gonna have control over it. So what I'm gonna do is set this to actually capture audio from the Digitone. I'm going to do it, post mixer is fine. I'm going to set it to record. I'm not going to set it to monitor. I mean, I guess I could. Let's do it. That means I can switch it off here. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave it on, but I'm going to take it pre-mixer, just post effects. Cool. And now you can tell it's out of time again, right? So let me fix it. Let me go take you back to the multi-clock and bring it back so it's really tight. Okay, and as soon as I have it where I think it's tight, I'm going to capture it. And the way that I do this is that I start to play, but I'll hit record after 4 beats because that's how long the multi-clock needs to get synchronized. So it's very simple. Let me show you. Play. Here we go. And now I would start tweaking this so that I have some options later. Okay, so that's a long enough take now. What is it? I only need the 16, cool. So that's it now. Actually, I could just get rid of the Digitone now. I don't really need it anymore. I mean, I'll leave it in now just to be faster, but this can all go off now because that's done. And now we can go over to what I was going to show you before, which is, so I've now captured this as my lead sound. This is mapped to a fader. So all of this is super intuitive. I know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is now the Digitone sound. Let me solo it for you. There it is. Oh, there we go. This one. So I can unsolo now and go back to the track. And just to keep it a little bit more easy to speak over, I'm just going to take a short loop from the beginning before I started opening up the filter too much. So I've now captured that into my screen here, into my template here, so that basically these first 8 tracks become the place where I capture my ideas from all the instruments in the back here in the compose section, which is like your sandbox, your play yard, whatever you want to call it, where you can just kind of create sounds, and once you have them dialed in, you record them up to the front, and then right away they're on a fader. But the cool thing is, if you keep doing this for a while, you'll end up with track sketches all in a row, top to bottom, meaning that you can actually then use that to play a live set with a controller and everything, because everything's already there. You don't depend on, is the Digitone set to the right channel? You're capturing everything in audio. So it's very easy and fast to build up a track and a live set this way. Cool. So I wanted to show you this super cool, fun little machine here, the Orchid, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's very, very cool. It's like a chord generator. Somehow Tame Impala is involved in making it. But yeah, I was just fascinated by it. I was like, okay, cool, let's check this out. And it's very, very cool. So what I've done is I've set this up now to play chords in the key of F minor. I wonder if I can, the screen is way too dim to really show you, but this is set to F minor. So if I play chords now, what this is happening is it's sending MIDI over to a MIDI channel in the template here. Oh, and this is going to the multi-clock channel that's connected to the Prophet 600. And honestly, like with the Prophet 600 and a Digitone or something like that for more digital sounds, like that's all you need. Really, like all the other stuff. I mean, the controllers are essential, a good audio interface, and I would say the multi-clock, and then this is like a total bonus on top, unless you already know how to play chords, which I kind of suck at. But like, this is such a powerful little setup. I've realized that there's really not a lot of need for much more. So yeah, I've been super enjoying the simplicity of making music this way. So as you can see, we're sending MIDI in here, and it's going to the Prophet 600, meaning also, again, I can tweak stuff in real time. So what we're going to do is we're going to straight away capture this. Okay, so that's hopefully now a better loop. Okay, so now I would capture this as my harmonic idea here, and I'm going to tweak this while it's recording. Okay, I'm going to take that loop, and what I noticed listening now is that this whole, it's a little bit out of time. I may not have my low latency monitoring on or some small detail like that. Yeah, this needs to be tighter on grid, so I'm just going to move the start point of this sample up a bit. Actually got a lot more sensitive to music timing, even though I'm a drummer by trade, after starting to use the multi-clock. Like that device is just, it's just magic, like what it does for electronic music production. What I'm doing in the background here while I'm chatting is, as this is opening up and getting a lot louder, I've added a clip envelope automation to just balance out that volume a bit. Okay, I hope this gives you sort of a high-level overview of what my recording and sequencing workflow is when I'm using outboard gear. So what I very often end up doing is doing a combination of pre-recorded kick drum samples, hi-hat, shaker, snares, toms, basses, because they're all in here already in the very best quality that I can manage to record as a sound engineer in the Infinity Bundle. So like I've tried like seeing if I could do them better with the hardware again at some point, like the Oberheim SEM clone that I have. I tried redoing it and I realized like it sounds so good as it is already playable here in the template that I just use that. And actually that goes for all of these basic foundational elements. And that's the whole goal and idea with the Infinity Bundle, is that you can use these basic kind of building blocks for electronic music to build up your track idea foundation. But then all the juicy stuff, all the cool stuff, all the harmonics, the pads, the melodies, the vocals, the samples, that's the stuff then that you can bring in and add to all these tracks here, and additional tracks if you're using two controllers, if you want to have more control over everything, to then build up your live set. But you don't have to spend hours agonizing over kick drums and basses and snares and hi-hats and all the stuff that we all end up spending way too much time on sometimes. I can very quickly pivot and experiment with song ideas rather than spending too much time messing about with the basic foundational blocks, which through this workflow, the Infinity Bundle and the mastering chain and the super effects have basically been tweaked in such a way that it'll sound really good straight out of Ableton. And yeah, it takes, it's like having me as a sound engineer in the studio with you while you're producing, taking care of the mix, and having our mastering engineer, Daniel, also sitting there looking over your shoulder, making sure that the mastering chain is really like pumping out the best sound that you can get. And all of it is set up to work together. So yes, this is my workflow. I hope that this gives you a cool overview of how I work with hardware and software combination, like what my setup would be if I was starting out fresh, what I would get to begin with. Controllers, because without controllers, life is miserable, I think, if all you're doing is moving around your mouse and looking at a screen. Then I would get the Prophet 6, because it can do anything and it's so great to use. Sounds so great in so many different ways, also with the stereo and everything that it can do. Then I would get, well, obviously you need an audio interface, so I would have a quantum interface, a multi-clock is super essential, and then I would start adding maybe 1 more 2 synths, or maybe something like this, the Orchid. Like that's it. VSX or AKAI headphones, and you would be done. And of course, our amazing Infinity Bundle. Sorry for the plug, but it's what I work with. It's what I wanted to show you that I use. Now, if you already have this, or if you want to go immediately into something that's has more possibilities, we also offer the Eric Heiermann Ableton template, which uses 2 controllers and this loop launching workflow. But if you're like a beginner to medium producer, I would recommend you to start with the Infinity Bundle. It also comes with all the instruments, and it's available for Ableton, Bitwig, FL Studio, and Logic. The Eric Heiermann template is Ableton 12 only. And you can actually, if you have both, you can grab all the instruments from the Infinity Bundle and pull them into the Eric Heiermann template, and you can just use them there because it's all cross-compatible. Yes, that's it for me today. I hope this video was interesting to see and gives you a better overview of yeah, my workflow and what I do. First new video from the MK3 Rapid Flow Studio. I hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go and yeah, go do some building stuff now here with setting up the new studio, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.